Hi guys, it's 97 the Tech Geek here, back with another how-to. This one, as you can probably tell, is based on Home Assistant. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to install it on a virtual machine or physical piece of hardware. So the first step you want to do is just pop onto the Home Assistant website, which is Home Assistant or home-assistant.io. Then click on Getting Started at the top and then Installation. There are a few different hardware models that they offer, or the Pi. Pi is fairly simple. Literally download the image from the Pi imager, pop it onto an SD card, install it, give it Ethernet, and pretty much good to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to install it on x86 to 64-bit 64 machines. You will need a machine that is 64-bit capable and supports UEFI boot, and you'll want to turn off secure boot, which are the prerequisites to be able to install it. Other than that, there's not really much in terms of requirements. It's fairly laid back system. It's not too complex, depending obviously on what you're going to be installing and using it for. So without further ado, what we'll do is we'll jump into VirtualBox and get this one powered up. So all I've done in VirtualBox is go ahead and set it as a Linux Ubuntu installation, turned on UEFI mode, given it plenty of RAM and processor. Obviously it's completely dependent on what capabilities you can offer it. It's either a virtual machine if you're doing it that virtually, or you can go ahead and run it on bare metal. Just bear in mind that whatever you do will then wipe the operating system that's currently on that device. Don't need to worry too much about the display because it's just a command line interface if you're really wanting to interact with it in that way. Storage, once again, it's not heavily required or heavily storage dependent, but it depends what you want to do. There's plenty of add-ons. I think you can even set up an MVR. So obviously do that based on what you're going to do. However, if you're just playing along with sensors and whatnot, you're probably not going to need a massive amount of storage. Audio, don't need to worry about, so we'll disable that. Network, you'll need to make sure that it's bridged if you're doing this on a virtual machine. One thing I would point out is this way I'm sort of demonstrating to show how you would do it essentially on a bare metal machine. There is actually a image that you can download for VirtualBox from Home Assistant if you wish to go down the route of doing it, and you don't have to mess around with any of this. But these are the settings you'd need to somewhat configure once you've done that. So anyway, without further ado, we start the machine. That's all powered up. There we go. That's now running. So get that into Ubuntu. Let this do the disk checks. Shouldn't find anything wrong because it's a brand new image downloaded from Ubuntu. Once again, this is another prerequisite you'll need to do. I'll pop a link in the description, but essentially all you'll need to do is just go to follow these instructions. You've got Ubuntu, which they'll ping you across to, and just download it and run the ISO. So there we go, we're all booted up. We are not going to install Ubuntu on this virtual machine. It's just a means of being able to restore an image. So when this loads up, we'll click on try. There we go. And then we should be presented with the desktop. So obviously just make sure you've got internet, otherwise you won't be able to go any further. On to Firefox, go to Home Assistant installation. Let's go to the generic one. So here we need to download this image. Obviously depending on your internet connection, I've got fairly fast internet. While we're waiting for this to happen, I'll download, go to Show Applications. You can either search for disk or click on disks. From there, you'll need to click on this little menu and click on Restore Disk Image. Click on here and by default it should have gone to your downloads. So there it is. Click on that and click Start Restoring. Once again, bearing in mind whichever destination drive this is going to, it will wipe it off, so make sure that it is the correct drive you're wanting to install Home System. So click Restore. Once again, this will be heavily dependent on how fast your drive is. So we'll let that go. Then once that's done, it's simply a case of rebooting the virtual machine or physical computer, laptop, whatever you're running it on, and removing the installation media, and it should then boot off the hard drive. So if you've changed the boot device to get it off the boot or the USB stick when you boot into Ubuntu, then you'll need to change that if you made that a permanent thing for the BIOS to look for. So what we'll do is we'll get a connection set up. Okay, that's now done. So just click here, power off, and then click on restart. It'll come up telling you to remove your installation media. If you're doing it on a virtual machine or VirtualBox at least anyway, it will remove that by default as soon as it is somewhat detected there's been a change to the storage. So click enter. This will now reboot and it'll go into UEFI mode. All being well, I see lots of stuff where it's booting up. Hopefully you get no errors and it'll go smoothly. If not, we'll do some YouTube magic. However, it all looks like we're going fairly smoothly. Now to get an internet connection, which is good, and it's just loading up the CLI. So from here, you'll get your IP address. You've got both IPv4 and 6 if that's set up in your home network. So all we need to do now, if we switch over, is, go onto that IP. So 192.168.1.124. If you by default go to this IP, it won't ping you back to the IP that Home Assistant sits on. So you'll need to put in 8123. From here, it'll take a little while, really depending once again on the specs of the machine you're running. Everything should go fairly smoothly. Like I said, here we do have one error / warning from Home Assistant, is that we're running it on a virtual image, and it doesn't like that because technically it shouldn't be done. So if you copy that link, if you don't put a dot at the end of it, like I say, you've got instructions here. It tells you what it recommends you use in terms of the minimum requirements for the machine, and you can just download the image. So you've got VirtualBox, KVM, and VMware. So simply just decompress these images and tell it when you're creating a virtual machine that you've got an existing hard drive and point it to wherever you've put that file. So we'll come back once this has done, just to show you how to set it up, and in a further video I can configure some sensors and show you how to actually use Home Assistant if this video is of interest to anyone. There we go, that's all done. So from here you can have a restore from a backup if you've migrated across from a different platform. Maybe so you've got it on the Raspberry Pi and you now want it on a bit more powerful equipment, or for this, I'm just going to click on create new smart home. So create a name. That should copy it across to the username, which if you're happy with, go for. And click create. Here you can put in your home address, so I'll just leave that as it is, and this will do it for the weather. And you can also set up a companion app on your mobile phone so it can run automations based off this. Country, let's go for United Kingdom. And let's just allow access to all of this, but you can turn that off. It might find some devices on your network already, so you can go ahead and get this configured, but we'll click finish. we go. That's you all set up. Thanks for watching. Feel free to comment, like, and subscribe for your next video suggestions. Many thanks. Goodbye.